About to be joined by Troy student athletes Jackson Fields and Tayton Connerway. Troy against Kentucky at 6:10 tomorrow night. And just reminders to silence your cell phones, wait for the microphones, and identify yourself by name and media affiliation, please. Questions?
Hi, I'm Serena Raboyne, WHAS 11. The Sun Belt is very competitive this year with 4 co-champions. You've heard a lot about the SEC, of how tough it is. What do you think that you've learned from your competition in your own conference that can maybe take you down the SEC?
Well, first off, I want to give all thanks to the man above. Without him, none of this would be possible. But, we have a tough schedule, with 14 teams. You have to win in order to get out. And so I feel like just going through that schedule of playing those guys in our conference, just getting us ready for, this competition and just trusting in who we have in our locker room and who we have on our team and just go out there and play the way we play and just hope for the best result.
Hey there, Tyler Thompson, Kentucky Sports Radio. For both of you, just what were your impressions of Kentucky basketball growing up, and how excited are you to play Kentucky tomorrow?
Growing up, I feel like Kentucky was always like one of those NBA schools, and they always had, legendary coaches and stuff. So that was kind of a team that was always on TV, and it was just an honor always watching them, and now we get to play against them, so it feels even better now.
Yeah, I have to agree with him as well. I didn't really grow up watching a lot of basketball, but when I did watch, it was either one of those blue bloods, Kentucky or Kansas or Duke, and just having the opportunity to come out here and play against them, is just something I look forward to doing.
John Huang, NOLA Media. I'm curious as to where you guys were last year at this time, and if you caught the Kentucky game, and what you felt when they went down to Oakland.
Well, this time last year, I think we might have been on the beach, enjoying a little bit of time, just relaxing, tanning, chilling with the team. But I didn't really watch the game. I know I don't really look at past previous stuff, just focus on what we have to do tomorrow.
Speaking of that game and Kentucky being a 3 seed again, they haven't gone past the second round as a 3 seed the last couple of years. How confident are you guys that you can kind of keep that going?
Just go out there and play the game, and I feel like we have confidence, like I already said previously. Confidence in our guys and our coaches and the game plan that we have set to win this game tomorrow.
I feel like as long as we just be ourselves and lock into the stuff that we've been practicing on, I feel like we'll be okay.
Steve McGargy, Associated Press. For Tayton, you're one of the top steals guys in the country. Just how do you make yourself into the defender you've become, and just how have you been able to kind of thrive on steals the way that?
Just kind of figuring out people's tendencies. I mean, people are creatures of habit, so everybody has their own little tendencies that they like to go to, and trying to figure them out early in the first half, so that way when it comes down to that stretch in the second half, you can kind of get in there and get you a couple.
When I hear people talk about your team, I hear the word toughness a lot. What is it about you guys that makes you so tough?
Our defense, for sure. The way we defend and the way we rebound, I feel like that's 2 of our big attributes to us. And our coach is always preaching, no matter who you are, the toughest team is always going to win. So as long as we can be the toughest team, we like our chances.
Mark Story, Lexington Herald Leader. Jackson, I'm fascinated by your season statistic line. I think you started the year 3 of 28 on 3-pointers, and since then you're 16 of 29. How did you turn that around?
Well, just confidence in my coaches and my teammates just telling me to keep shooting. I wouldn't say switch anything up, maybe just, a mental boost. Just after I probably hit one, it just kept flowing and kept shooting, and just extra work with my coaches off the court as well.
Other questions?
Tayton, let's ask you, Barry McKnight, Troy Sports Network, what do you hope the nation sees particularly from Troy when everybody watches by the end of the game, regardless of the outcome? What do you hope that will have struck the nation about Troy basketball?
I just want to be one of those teams that's so tough that nobody wants to play. Every time they hear that we got to play Troy, I want them to put their head down and dread that whole night. So as long as we can be the toughest team, then I feel like that's what we're going for.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I just want to come out here and, show everybody that we're not just a pushover team. We're going to come out here and compete and play hard and, just get scruffy and get down and try and win this game.
Yes, sir.
Were you all able to get in one last Waffle House trip before you came?
We went. A couple of us went as a team. They always hook us up out there, and they got great people at Waffle House. So we went out there, and they sent us off with some good buys and some good waffles. So that's always good.
All right, thanks, guys. Good luck tomorrow.
Thank you so much. Thank y'all.
Same to you. Troy head coach Scott Cross will be with us in a few minutes. Joined now by Troy head coach Scott Cross. Questions, please.
Hi, Tyler Thompson, Kentucky Sports Radio. Just what have you noticed and observed after watching the tape of Kentucky the last few days?
Oh, they're one of the best offensive teams in the country. The way they pass the ball, shoot the ball, very, very difficult to defend. We're definitely going to go out there and try and be as aggressive as we can and take some things away. But watching it on tape, it's not going to be easy. But it's what you live for and what you dream about. And so the opportunity to go out there and play them, I know our guys are excited and ready for the challenge.
Coach Lamont Butler went down in the SEC championship. They say he is available for this game. How much does he kind of have an impact for them and impact what you guys want to do defensively against them?
Yeah, I would say he's a huge part of what they do. You know they're way, way better when he's out there on the floor, especially defensively with his toughness defending the basketball. So I'm sure, that'll give them a boost. And, he's a very good offensive player as well, but I think he kind of gives them the toughness and identity that make them better defensively.
Serena Boyne, WHAS 11. The last time you saw Kentucky was the year after you made your first NCAA tournament berth with Troy. What have you learned since then, and just how do you apply that knowledge now?
Yeah, so the only time I've played Kentucky was at my previous school. They were extremely talented during that stretch. Some of the best players that looked like an NBA team going out there. And so they had Booker and those guys, and we got him going. I think we're responsible for igniting his NBA career because I think he hit 10 threes in that game or something ridiculous. But, our guys here at Troy, they have played in big games. This won't be our first rodeo. We played Oregon, we played Arkansas, we've played U of H, so we played some of the top teams in the country that are in the NCAA tournament. And so I don't think our guys will be intimidated, but that we know it's going to be a tough game, and we'll just go out there and play as hard as we can. And I think we do some things extremely well as well that they're probably very concerned about, and so that's why they play the game. Every year it seems like a 14 seed wins, and so why not Troy?
Liam Hanley here with the Shepherd Express. Knowing Kentucky's history, especially recently in their struggles in the tournament against lower seeds, does that give you guys more confidence coming into this game?
I wouldn't say, you can't really base anything on yesterday or last year. I mean, we have shown our guys, not necessarily just them, but all the 14 seeds, that have won over the past, 10 years to give our guys confidence that it can be done. Doesn't happen a lot. I believe it's like 13% or something along those lines. But just knowing that it can be done, I think, it gives you a chance and gives the guys a little bit of confidence. They're going to have a definite size advantage, and that's part of it. But I do believe our guys are confident and believe in themselves, and they believe in each other.
Hey, Scott, John Huang, NOLA Media. Toughness is a word that I've heard a lot of people use to describe your team. I hope you agree, but as a coach, can you define toughness?
Yeah, I would say toughness is doing, both mental and physical, doing all the little things, diving on the floor for a loose ball, walling up, getting up and playing, tough physical on the ball defense. When the other team goes on a run or you make a mistake, snapping back and not letting it affect you on the next play. There's so many aspects, both mentally and physically, but it's something that we talk about every single day with our guys, and we always say right before we go out, the toughest team always wins. A lot of times the most aggressive team ends up being the toughest team, so that we want our guys to have that mindset, kind of a hunt mindset. We're not going to be hunted, we're going to go out there and we're going to be hunters. And that's the only way that we can be successful. If we're on our heels, we had no chance, but if we go out there and we're hungry and we're tough and we're aggressive, we have a chance.
Coach, a lot of people have talked about the competition within the SEC, but the Sun Belt also had a lot of competition with 4 co-champions. Just how do you think that has prepared you for this tournament run?
Yeah, it's definitely relative, but I would say in our sphere, it's very, very similar because from top to bottom, It's so evenly matched. Louisiana Monroe finished towards the bottom of the league. They beat South, who was in first place by a game, and they actually swept them. And so, the last place team sweeps the first place team. That tells you how evenly matched it is. I mean, I've kept up with the SEC. I'm a big SEC fan. Definitely the best conference in the country. There's no doubt about it. It's a bloodbath every single game. But yeah, I mean, it's the same level of anxiety, and you have to bring it every single game. In our conference is in the SEC. It's just a little bit different in terms of size and experience and those types of things.
Coach, you mentioned size, and then Kentucky has a size advantage. How do you kind of try to combat that? I mean, is toughness a part of that, or is it more boxing out and mental things as well?
Yeah, both. Toughness, I think, is a part of it. I mean, we're exceptionally good at offensive rebounding. I believe we're 5th or 6th in the country. You have to be tough. How are we able to do that with, Jackson Fields is 6'8", maybe, Thomas Dowd 6'7", somewhere in there. The only way you do that is by being tough. You're not going to be a great offensive rebounding team unless you're being physical and gritty and tough. And so our guys, we've preached it, we've done it. We do a defensive boot camp week long where we're getting up at 5 o'clock in the morning and doing 2-on-2 drills without a basketball for an hour and a half straight, and it's one of the toughest things they do. But once they've accomplished that, they know anything we face in the season is going to be a lot easier than our defensive boot camp. So our guys, their minds, I feel like, are trained. They're mentally tough, and I don't think they're going to get rattled no matter what the circumstances are. We've had our share of adversity. We've, had out of our 5 losses in conference, it's been a combined 14 points. So every single one of those games is close. And we, down the stretch, we were able to start winning those close games. And so our guys are used to it.
You returned a lot of your roster this year, and just in this current era of college athletics, just how much of an advantage is that, kind of keeping that continuity?
Yeah, it's a huge advantage. The year before, App State in our league returned the most guys. They won the regular season. I remember Coach Kearns telling me at the meetings that we had a big advantage because we were returning all the guys. You don't really, you think it's going to be an advantage, but until you do it, you don't really know. But, looking back now that we were able to be co-champions of the regular season and tournament champions, without a doubt, if we don't return that many guys, it's going to be very, very difficult. So that was a huge part of it. You have to kind of remind the fans and everybody else that doesn't happen very often, and it's probably not going to happen again this year, unfortunately. But I'm thankful for these guys for believing in us and believing in each other. And and the beautiful thing is what they set out to do, we accomplished. Now there's still more to accomplish, but the 2 major goals that every year you set out to do is win a regular season, go to the NCAA tournament. And so our guys, that's what they wanted to do, and we were able to do that.
Anything else for Coach?
Coach, what do you want your guys to just take away from this experience here?
Yeah, they've had plenty of time to enjoy it. We've given we had 2 days off right after we won the conference tournament. We had Selection Sunday off. That was their time to enjoy it. I do want them to kind of soak up these moments here. But when we step foot, when it's time to practice, we forget about all that. When it's time to play, we're going to work. We're not treating it any different than any other game we've played all year long. And so every other minute, enjoy it, look around, enjoy the police escort, enjoy the private plane. We're probably not going to do that, for a long, long time unless we can get back to the NCAA tournament. But I do want them to enjoy those experiences. For me, it's been 17 years, so I appreciate everything. In year 2, you think it's going to happen, and every single year after that, and here we are 17 years later, so it definitely makes you appreciate the little things even more.
I asked your guys about Waffle House and their most recent trip there. What has it been like to see that story kind of blow up this week? I heard they even reached out to you all.
Yeah, it's been great. I mean, and all that is true stories. None of it is lies. I mean, I was asking my wife yesterday about it. I was like, how many times do you think we've went to Waffle House in the 6 years? And she's like, at least 100. So that's with my wife. And so you can, multiply that by 2 or 3 because like even our team meetings last year when we were putting the team together and trying to convince everybody to stay, I was meeting individually with each guy, and I would ask them where they want to go, and probably out of the 11 guys that were returning, probably 9 of them said Waffle House. So I definitely had to watch what I ate the rest of the day, because I definitely ate a lot during those Waffle House runs. And then a lot of times after we win, it's the only place open, and we love it there. They're family, and so yeah, the stories are all true, though none of it is made up. Yeah.
All right, Coach. Thank you. Good luck
Thank
tomorrow
you.
night.